Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to jump right into Matthew Allen's incredible guide, Smart Thinking. We're going to unpack a skill that, let's be honest, is more critical now than ever. How to actually cut through all that noise and think for yourself. Ready? Let's do this. Okay, so think about it. Every single day, we're just bombarded. You open your phone and you see a headline, a confident claim, just like this one. Experts claim the economy is improving. And it sounds so final, right? So definitive. But then you scroll down and bam, the very next article hits you with the complete opposite. A recession is inevitable, and it's said with the exact same level of certainty. So, who do you believe? It can feel totally impossible to figure out what's really going on. And you know what? That feeling of being overwhelmed, that's not just you. It is the central challenge of living in our world today. But here's the secret. The answer isn't about learning what to think, it's all about learning how to think. All right, let's kick things off with the big why. Why does this even matter? Because as we're about to see, smart thinking isn't some dusty academic skill. No way. It's a fundamental tool, kind of like a survival guide for navigating this crazy, complex world of ours. Matthew Allen nails it with this quote. He makes this really powerful point that events, they have an inner logic. There's a reason things happen. But, and this is the crazy part, we're often taught to just stay away from that logic, to just accept things, don't ask too many questions, don't rock the boat. But see, smart thinking is what gives you the power to find that logic for yourself. It's the skill that lets you actually look at your own beliefs and say, hey, does this still make sense? It helps you ask better questions and become a real active participant in your community, instead of just being a passive observer, getting swept along by whatever the latest opinion current is. Okay, so how do we even start? Where's the entry point? Well, it all begins with learning to spot the absolute fundamental building block of all reasoning, and that little building block is called a claim. So, what is a claim? It's really simple. A claim is just any statement that says something is true or false about the world. That's it. It could be a fact, an opinion, a belief. If it's asserting that something is or is not the case, it's a claim. Now, here's a super important point. A statement does not have to be correct to be a claim. I mean, look at this. The world is flat. That's obviously false, right? But it is still a claim because it's making an assertion that we can test and prove wrong. A question, though? Is the world round or flat? That's not asserting anything, so not a claim. And these claims, they basically come in two main flavors. On one side, you've got descriptive claims. These are all about the facts. They describe how the world is. Milk is a white liquid. Simple. On the other side, you have value claims. These are about judgments, opinions, how the world should be. You should drink milk. See the difference? Just spotting this distinction is a massive first step. Okay, so we have our building blocks, these claims. Now let's see how they snap together, like Legos, to build something much, much bigger and way more powerful, an argument. All right, first things first. When we say argument, we're not talking about a shouting match. Forget that. In smart thinking, an argument is a logical structure. It's really just a main claim. We call that the conclusion that's being held up and supported by other claims, which we call premises. This is a perfect everyday example. It shows the structure so clearly. The first two statements, those are our premises. They're the bits of evidence we already accept as true. And you can see how they link together. They create this clear, logical path that leads you straight to the conclusion. So, today, I had better leave work earlier. And that right there, that is the key takeaway. Every single argument, I don't care how complicated or confusing it seems on the surface, has this hidden blueprint underneath it all. And that blueprint has a name, the analytical structure. So this is where the real magic happens. This is the superpower of smart thinking. It's when you learn how to find that hidden structure inside of everyday language, in articles, in conversations, everywhere. And Matthew Allen has a great name for this skill. He calls it casting. Just take a look at this paragraph. I mean, on the surface, it just sounds like someone talking, right? You've got filler words, a little rhetorical question thrown in there, but hidden underneath all that conversational fluff is a very clear, very logical argument just waiting for you to find it. So how do we cast it? Well, the first step is to be a bit of a detective. You go through and you pull out every single individual claim, and you give it a number. What you're doing is stripping away all that filler, all the let's consider the facts and then no, and just getting down to the bare bones of the reasoning. And boom,
This is the aha moment. The second you've pulled out those claims, you can suddenly see the analytical structure crystal clear. You see how the first three claims, the premises, are all working together like a team to support that final claim, the conclusion. You've basically just revealed the hidden logic.
So now we have the basic tools, right? We know what claims are, and we know how they form arguments. So let's connect this back to the real world and see why this is a complete and total game changer for how you see everything. Really, it all boils down to this simple three-part skill. Part 1, you learn to spot the claims. Part 2, you understand how they link up as reasons and conclusions. And Part 3, you practice revealing that hidden structure in literally anything you read or hear. And trust me, this is not just some abstract mental exercise. This is a practical, hands-on toolkit that truly empowers you. With this, you can confidently analyze articles, break down a politician's speech, and even scrutinize your own beliefs to make them stronger. It's all about navigating the world with way more clarity and confidence. And I love how Alan puts it. He reminds us that the goal here isn't to find the one single right answer. That's not it at all. The goal is to develop the skill to critically and fairly evaluate all the views out there, and maybe most importantly, our own. Because ultimately, this is a skill that transforms you. It gives you a sense of agency in a world that, let's face it, often feels like it's designed to confuse us. You stop being just a passive consumer of information, and you become an active, critical thinker. And that's our look into smart thinking. So now, the only real question left is the one right there on your screen. What argument are you going to deconstruct first?